Every time you vote in an election, you are using a Greek invention. Every time you watch the Olympics, you are celebrating a Greek tradition. Every time you sit in a theater, visit a doctor, study philosophy, or argue about justice, you are living inside ideas that were born in one small peninsula in the Mediterranean Sea, 2,500 years ago. Ancient Greece didn't just influence the modern world. Ancient Greece is the modern world, and the story of how a collection of small city-states changed human civilization forever is the most extraordinary story never fully told. To understand ancient Greece, you have to understand what the world looked like before it. In 800 BC, the Mediterranean was a place of kingdoms and pharaohs, where one man ruled absolutely, where questioning the king meant death, and where the idea that ordinary people could have a voice in their own government was completely unthinkable. Greece was different from the beginning. Instead of one unified kingdom, the Greeks lived in hundreds of independent city-states called Peleus, Athens, Sparta, Corinth, Thebes, each one its own world, with its own laws, its own culture, its own identity. This fragmentation, which looked like weakness, was actually their greatest strength, because competition between city-states drove innovation at a speed the ancient world had never seen before. When Athens invented something new, Sparta had to respond. When Corinth built a better ship, everyone else followed. The Greeks were in constant, furious, creative competition with each other, and that competition produced an explosion of ideas that still echoes through human civilization today. In 507 BC, an Athenian politician named Cleisthenes did something that had never been done anywhere in the world before. He gave the people of Athens the right to govern themselves. Democracy, from the Greek words demos meaning people and kratos meaning power, the power of the people. It sounds simple today. In 507 BC, it was the most radical political idea in human history. The Athenian assembly, the ecclesia, met on a hillside called the Nix, where any male citizen could stand up and speak, could argue, could vote, could challenge the most powerful men in the city. The idea that a poor farmer could stand before thousands and change the direction of his government was something the ancient world had never imagined. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. Women couldn't vote. Slaves had no rights. Only citizens participated. But as a seed, as the first trembling step toward the idea that government should serve the people and not the other way around, it changed everything. Every democracy on Earth today traces its roots directly to that hillside in Athens. But Greece didn't just change how people governed, it changed how people thought. Socrates walked the streets of Athens asking questions nobody had dared ask before. What is justice? What is virtue? What does it mean to live a good life? He was so dangerous, so threatening to those in power that they put him on trial and sentenced him to death. He drank poison rather than stop asking questions, and in doing so, he became the father of Western philosophy. His student Plato wrote about the ideal society, the nature of reality, and the immortality of the soul, ideas so profound that the philosopher Alfred North Whitehead once said that all of Western philosophy is merely footnotes to Plato, and Plato's student Aristotle was perhaps the greatest mind the ancient world ever produced. He founded the study of logic, biology, physics, ethics, politics, and literary criticism, essentially inventing entire fields of human knowledge from scratch. Alexander the Great, the man who would conquer the known world, was his student. These three men, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, in less than 150 years created the intellectual foundation of Western civilization. We are still building on it today. But ancient Greece was not just a civilization of thinkers. It was also a civilization of extraordinary warriors. Sparta, Athens' greatest rival, built perhaps the most disciplined military society in human history. Spartan boys were taken from their families at age 7 and entered the Agoge, a brutal military training program that lasted until they were 30. They slept on beds of reeds they cut themselves, They were deliberately underfed so they would learn to steal food, and punished if they were caught. The goal was not to create soldiers, it was to create weapons. In 480 BC, when the Persian Empire, the largest empire the world had ever seen, invaded Greece with an army of over 100,000 men. It was 300 Spartan warriors who stood at the pass of Thermopylae and held them for 3 days. They all died, but they bought Greece the time it needed. And at the Battle of Marathon, the messenger who ran 26 miles to Athens to announce the Greek victory collapsed and died after delivering his news. That run became the marathon we still race today. Even in death, the Greeks left a legacy. The Greeks didn't just invent democracy and philosophy. They invented theater, comedy, and tragedy as art forms that explored the deepest questions of human existence. Plays written by Sophocles and Euripides 2,500 years ago are still performed in theaters around the world today. They invented the Olympic Games, a tradition of peaceful competition between nations that we still honor every 4 years. They built the Parthenon, a structure of such mathematical perfection that architects are still studying its proportions today. They developed medicine under Hippocrates, whose oath doctors still take in modified form around the world. They gave us the alphabet we use, the geometry we teach in schools, the political vocabulary we use every day. Democracy, politics, tyranny, philosophy, theater, academy, athletics, all Greek words, all Greek gifts to humanity. Ancient Greece lasted as a dominant civilization for roughly 500 years, from around 800 BC to 300 BC, when Alexander the Great spread Greek culture across the known world in one of history's most extraordinary military campaigns. Then Rome conquered Greece, and in doing so, was itself conquered by Greek ideas. The Roman Empire spread Greek philosophy, Greek architecture, and Greek political thought across Europe and beyond. And when Rome fell, those ideas survived in the monasteries and universities of the medieval world, waiting for the Renaissance to rediscover them and set the modern world in motion. We live in a world built on Greek foundations. Every courthouse with columns, every parliament with elected representatives, every hospital with ethical doctors, every university teaching logic and philosophy, every Olympic stadium filled with athletes from around the world. Ancient Greece was not perfect. It had slavery, it had war, it had injustice, but it also had something no civilization before it had ever dared to attempt: the belief that human reason, human curiosity, and human courage could understand the world and make it better. That belief, born on a small peninsula 2,500 years ago, is the most powerful idea in human history, and it belongs to all of us. If this story moved you, subscribe, because next week we go inside the world of ancient Rome, the empire that took Greek ideas and used them to conquer the world. The rise, the glory, and the fall. See you next week.